Good day, it's October 20th, 2025. The 7th Congressional District in Arizona still have no representation in the House of Representatives. I'm Joe Buban. Welcome to the Pulse.
And I'm Jessica Rolla. Welcome to this week's edition.
After a long delay of swearing in the new Congresswoman from Arizona's 7th District, Arizona Attorney General Chris Mays threatened legal action against Speaker Mike Johnson for refusing to swear in Adelita Grijalva, who was elected by a landslide in September, giving a reason that the government is in shutdown, something Speaker Mike Johnson had done before to swear in a Republican member during a government shutdown. The congressional district was previously held by her father, Raul Grijalva, before his death back in March of this year. Attorney General Mays said Ms. Grijalva no longer needs a House resolution to be sworn into office. With the House in possession of the certificate of election, it is now a simple ministerial duty to administer the oath of office. The House is without authority to refuse her oath and admission.
In the Virginia gubernatorial race, next year during the midterm election, according to recently released generic polls, Democrat Abigail Spanberger holds a clear and consistent lead over Republican Winsome Earle-Sears. Multiple pollsters conducted the survey among 2,000 plus likely voters in Virginia. It shows Spanberger leading her Republican opponents from 3% to up to 10% on another, with an average of 5.7% lead from all the 15 polling entities. The polls were conducted among others by the Washington Post, George Mason University, Emerson University, Signal Political, Public Policy Polling, and the Republican pollster Trafalgar Group. None of the results from 15 pollsters indicate a lead for the Republican Winsome Earle-Sears. If you ask, why is gubernatorial race important to the entire nation, such that it is being carefully watched as important as congressional race? Well, the answer is governors play a big role in approving or vetoing congressional redistricting.
While the government shutdown in the U.S. finished its third week, federal employees are hurting in their pockets with no income from wages. Military and law enforcement are included and is making hundreds of thousands of families frustrated. The impasse between the Republican Speaker of the House of Representatives and the Democratic leaders has something to do with the ending of subsidies of the Affordable Care Acts, or Obamacare, which Trump and the Republican leaders on both chambers wants to end. The provisions for subsidies that lowered health insurance premium for Americans is set to expire on December 31st of 2025. But the Democrats who want it to stay under the current continuing spending resolution rather than wait for another budget negotiations in both chambers. The government shutdown had also created chaos to travelers worldwide, as delays and flight cancellations at U.S. airports have ripple effects that extend outside the U.S. airspace due to less number of air traffic controllers and less personnel at TSA, the Transportation Security Administration, where fewer are showing up for work without pay. Tourism economy in the U.S. had also been severely affected, including popular destinations like Las Vegas and Los Angeles, besides Florida, that has already been hurting because of the Canadian tourist boycott. We are going to take a commercial break. Please stay with us for more.
We use headphones as a part of our everyday lives. Whether we're at work, getting exercise, meditating, in transit, studying, practicing, or relaxing.
Hi, I'm Ryan Sway, the founder of Aircom. I would like to introduce the world's first wireless airflow audio earbuds. As a festival and a concert junkie, I really enjoy the live experience of being there and feeling the music. When we started developing Airflow, our goal was to reproduce that live experience using earbuds.
The problem with traditional headphones is that the speakers are located inside of the earpiece, literally giving you centimeters before the audio hits your eardrum.
What Aircom is doing, they're the first company to actually address the fact that there needs to be a space involved associated with having the sound waves expand fully.
The difference between traditional headphones and Aircom audio is that the air tube gives you 8 times more space, allowing the sound waves to fully develop before they actually hit your eardrums. And this gives it a much more live, natural sound, just like in a recording studio.
It's real nice that someone actually addressed the physics associated with how sound comes out.
The challenge we had was to create an earbud with enough airspace for the sound to fully develop and breathe. Unfortunately, traditional earbuds are about the size of a jelly bean, and there's just not enough airspace. However, that changed when we developed Airflow Audio. Airflow uses an air tube to deliver 6 to 8 times more airspace than traditional earbuds. The end result is a true live listening experience, just like you're at a festival or a concert. We also added magnets to the back of the earpieces so you can wear it around your neck when you're not using it.
Being that the drivers are 8 inches from the earpiece, the magnets do not affect the integrity of the sound at all.
The orange line represents the frequency transmitting through the wire to the speaker, which then converts to the blue sound wave that develops more as it travels up the air tube, producing a balanced, full body and live listening experience.
Another really cool feature is that these earbuds are sweat-proof and water-resistant because they're coated with a super hydrophobic nanotechnology. So now you can be on a skateboard or riding a motorcycle and listen to music as if you were watching a live show or actually in a recording studio.
We're coming to you for help in bringing these unparalleled earbuds to market.
Welcome back to The Pulse. A few weeks ago, Philippine Senator Riza Hontiveros attended the unveiling of Filipino town of Las Vegas in a hectic, multiple engagement with the Filipino community. During that week, she held a town hall meeting with the Las Vegas Filipino community. PhilAmTV's Sam Buban was invited to the forum and was able to ask questions to the senator. Mr. Buban asked a question relating to unemployment insurance that the Philippines does not have in its laws that will give a safety net for workers who get terminated or their contract had ended. The practice is referred to as ENDO. Practice of terminating an employee at the end of 5 months in order to circumvent the law of giving benefits if an employee was regular for 6 months. Here's that interaction with that senator.
For allowing a town hall meeting like this. My name is Sam Buban. I'm also a business owner for a medical equipment and supply company here in Las Vegas. And I am also the owner of the only Filipino-American broadcast TV station, PhilAmTV, which is based here in Las Vegas. My question is something to do with in the labor sector. Now, we all know that the lowliest employees that we have in the Philippines continue to be disadvantaged and fired arbitrarily so many requirements. They get hired for 5 months and they spend $5,000 for requirements that they require every single time an employee applies. It's to me, it's like it doesn't make sense. Many of them are arbitrary. You just had an X-ray 5 months ago. They're requiring another X-ray. Blood work, I can understand because they want to make sure the person applying is not on drugs or something. But my question really is, in the Philippines, we already had adopted so many insurance programs that other countries have, like the United States. Among them, the Philippine Crop Insurance Corporation, which is an insurance for farmers in case the disaster hits their farm, their plantation or produce. What the Philippines doesn't have is, which we had in the United States for more than 70 years already, is the federal unemployment program, right? Which premium is paid by the employer, but the Philippines should have, and I'm willing to work with your staff to do a model, right? Because I've been thinking about this for 20 years, like how come every time my relatives get fired, they have to beg me, for some I'm looking for another job, I just got terminated, and I need 5,000 pesos again for, the requirements. And while they are unemployed during that transition, the family don't have food in the house. So, but if we can have, or the Philippines could pursue through our legislature, a program like the unemployment insurance program that is paid for partly, it could be partly paid for by the employer, the employee themselves can contribute to it, and a little part is a government subsidy. Knowing that we're already wasting billions of dollars on the coast and missing projects. I know that, of all the senators that I know who are in the Senate right now, you are the one with the heart of a social worker. You're always concerned about the little guys. So heads up to you, Senator. And then for me, it's like one thing that is still missing. There are so many social programs that I like there. It's already there. Like the 4 Ps in Pantawid, and the healthcare for seniors, and the availability of more benefits. You're working on more benefits for teachers, but the ordinary workers, especially those who are working in the malls, that have been arbitrarily being oppressed. So every time I go to the Philippines, which I do 4 times a year, I ask them, I ask them, how much are you getting paid here now at Robinsons? They say, sir, nakakahiya na lang sabihin. It's because as my son is also a political analyst, he said, Dad, the reason the Filipinos continue to be poor, especially in the private sector, because it is the work of the industrial and banking cartel. Sila lang usap-usap lang how much an employee in the mall or a salesperson in the mall should get. They're the cartel. So, but what the additional pain is when their 5-month contract ends. With this program, it is like an unemployment insurance program. Those temp agencies will be the one paying the unemployment premium, their portion. Okay? That way, this and the model that I was thinking is like here. If you have a history of replacing employees frequently, your premium goes up. Just like any claim, in an insurance. So that would be a good thing to have in the Philippines, and then at least the ordinary, these poor workers who are not even earning living wages will have food in the house or on their table when they get fired and while they're looking for a job. Thank you, Senator.
The senator also attended the last celebration in the evening of Filipino Town inauguration at 6350 Philam Central, hosted by Filipino Town Las Vegas Board, headed by Bernie Benito and Ernie Boo, and Dr. Phil Pelaracio. Here are some videos from that big event.
And I would like to call up our Philippine Senator, the Honorable Lisa Ontiveros. She wants to say hello.
Magandang gabi po sa inyo lahat. Good evening, everyone. Yay! Mabuhay po. Congratulations para sa makasaysayang paglunsad ng Filipino Town. Congratulations for this historic launch of Filipino Town. I will imitate Sir Bernie's good example and speak briefly, but both in Filipino and in English. So all of us, Filipinos and Filipino Americans, can be heart to heart and ear to ear during this wonderful program. So I said it's historic because it's all about Filipino identity wherever we are. Tayo sa mundo, doon sa Pilipinas o dito sa Amerika, alam na alam natin yung ating pagka-Pilipino. Whether we're in the Philippines or here in America, we just know that we are Filipinos together and what makes us Filipinos. Filipinos in the Philippines, Filipino Americans, Filipinos anywhere else in the world. At siguro maya-maya tayo mga Pilipino, namimiss natin ang Pilipinas.
Senator Hontiveros is well loved by Filipinos in many sectors because of her support for legislations that is geared to provide and protect the poor and ordinary Filipinos in many social safety nets like cash grants to the poor families who have children in school and cash for seniors.
In our international news, new rules for travel in Europe is changing for entry and exit. In a report from Al Jazeera, non-European Union citizens traveling to countries in Europe's Schengen area, which has eliminated physical borders between member countries, will soon be required to utilize a new automated biometric system that will replace traditional passport procedures. That means fingerprinting and facial recognition. On Sunday, October 12, the EU will implement its new entry-exit system, which will apply to 29 Schengen nations. The EU expects EES will be fully operational by April 10 next year. The EES is a digital border check system that will follow non-EU persons as they enter and exit Europe's Schengen zone, which is made up of 25 EU members and 4 non-EU countries that provides freedom of movement with no internal border checks. According to the EU, the EES will apply to anyone making short-term visits to the Schengen zone. A non-EU traveler is someone who does not have EU nationality or nationality from Iceland, Liechtenstein, Norway, or Switzerland. Short-stay Schengen visas are granted to persons who stay in the zone for up to 90 days within a 180-day period. Citizens of the United States, Canada, Australia, the United Kingdom, and other countries who are typically exempt from visa requirements for short stays in the Schengen zone will be subject to EES. The entry-exit system shall not apply to nationals of the Republic of Ireland, Cyprus, are part of the European Union even though they are inside the Schengen area. This include owners of passports granted by the Vatican City-State or the Holy See, non-European Union nationals with residence permits in European Union nations, including Ireland and Cyprus. Non-EU nationals traveling for research, study, volunteering, or au pair services will also be covered by the new travel policy. Exemptions from the new practice are those travelers who have residency permits or long-stay visas for Andorra, Monaco, and San Marino, which are not members of the European Union, but can only be entered on land via Schengen area nation. People who hold a valid local border traffic permit, crew members of passenger and cargo trains on international connecting journeys, and people who have been awarded certain privileges that free them from border inspections. How will the entry-exit system work? A non-European Union visitor entering any of the Schengen nations will be routed to an immigration booth or kiosk at the airport, rail station, or bus station where they arrived. Their passports' personal information, including complete name, nationality, and biometric data such as a facial image and fingerprints, will be recorded. Children under the age of 12 will not be required to produce fingerprints. We are going to take a commercial break. Please stay with us.
Pure Medical Equipment provides top-notch quality medical supply equipment. Whether to rent or buy, Pure Medical Equipment and Supplies has it all.
Pure Medical Equipment is committed to serve and give back to Southern Nevada.
We deliver medical supplies and rentals to your door.
Welcome back to The Pulse. The president of Madagascar has fled the country last week during a military coup after moving to a secure location as the military announces it has taken control of the capital, according to a report by BBC in Africa. After weeks of youth-led protests on the Indian Ocean island, an elite military unit claims to have overthrown President Andry Rajoelina in Madagascar. Colonel Michael Randrianarina, the head of CIP-SAT, stated outside the presidential palace on Tuesday that elections will be held in 2 years and that the military would form a government. Additionally, he suspended the Electoral Commission and other important democratic institutions. Colonel Randrianarina said that because the movement was created in the streets, so we have to respect their demands. He continued, Gen Z protesters would be included in the adjustments. Troops and demonstrators have been celebrating President Rajoelina's departure, with thousands waving flags in Antananarivo. CIP-SAT, or the Personnel Administration Technical and Administrative Services Corps, in Madagascar's most powerful military corps. The unit backed Rajoelina when he took power in 2009, but joined the protests on Saturday. Madagascar's Constitutional Court has designated Colonel Randrianarina as the country's new leader. The disturbance began just over 2 weeks ago when a youth-led movement began protesting chronic water and power outages around the country. Soon after, the protests intensified to represent broader discontent with Rajoelina's administration on issues like the cost of living crisis, widespread corruption, and high unemployment.
With the participation of Qatar, Turkey, and 3 other countries, President Trump signed the Gaza peace deal, ending the occupation and devastation in Gaza that resulted in the death of more than 60,000 innocent Palestinians. International humanitarian aid is now flowing into Gaza, which has been halted by Israel for months, starving the population, mostly children. It was utter famine like the world had seen in Somalia, created by the Netanyahu government, that the people of Israel had themselves opposed. The hostages has been released. All seems to be in good health, not starved, compared to the ordinary Palestinians who were starving from the basic daily food for months. Some hostages thanked Hamas for taking good care of them. The hostages were reunited with their families. The control of Gaza was turned over to the Palestinian Authority and the peace and order to the Palestinian Authority police personnel. But reports of sporadic gunfights between rearmed Hamas and Palestinian police has been filtering out to the media. We are out of time for this episode. Please join us again next week here at The Pulse. I'm Joe Buban. Thank you for watching.
And I'm Jessica Rolla. God bless your week.